I put this head unit in my brand new Honda Civic, and I kind of joked about the fact that I can play video games by, chess, because, it's an Android head unit. But then I realized, wait a minute, I can actually install the Dolphin emulator on this thing and play Mario Kart Wii. After 2 hours of tweaking with the Dolphin emulator, you can see that I clearly got it running. To my surprise, the game was actually running anywhere from 45 to 50 frames per second. But the game itself would stutter and slow down a whole bunch, so I wasn't really satisfied with what I had done for the past 2 hours. Well, one thing about this head unit I noticed was that it actually had a video app called aux, and when I clicked it, it said no video signal, meaning I can transmit video into this thing whenever I wanted to. But I had to actually verify that this thing had a set in RCAs for video input like it shows on this app. So I got to opening up where I knew all the ports were. I had installed an aftermarket backup camera to this radio, and I knew whenever I plugged it into this one right here, it never worked, and I just used this other female RCA right here. But I knew that this had to have a use for something. I just assumed it was for like a right lane switching camera. But no, I think this is actually for that app that we were talking about right there. And obviously you can see there's another set of female RCAs that must correspond with it. So this basically means I should hypothetically be able to transmit any video I wanted into it, and that's where this thing comes in. A Steam Deck. The Steam Deck's a portable gaming machine, much like the Nintendo Switch, and I knew that if I could get video out of this thing, I could put it into those RCAs and play it on my screen. But how do I get USB-C to RCA? Well, I have this dock that has USB-C to HDMI and USB. So I went on Amazon and searched for an HDMI to RCA adapter. So on Amazon, I found this HDMI to AV adapter right here that takes the HDMI signal, processes it using a USB power device that you see right there. It transmits to NTSC or PAL, I don't know what that means. But look, it actually has the male RCAs that we're looking for that we can connect to the female ones right there. Here's what the setup's gonna look like. I'm gonna have this dock sit inside of my glove box right here. So at any moment, I could just kind of hot swap my Steam Deck, and I'll have it powered by one of those USBs that I already ran in my last video. But I also need to run an RCA and HDMI adapter through the dash all the way around to the RCA females right here. For anyone that doesn't know, this is like my third time taking out these AC vents after I ran my subwoofer wire and installed this aftermarket head unit. So watch me do all of this just for it to not even work. That'd be terrible. Now that I can actually see back there, I'm gonna try running the wire from under that glove box through, and then hopefully I'll be able to just fish it through. So what I did with these USBs, I just kind of forced it behind the glove box, and I just wiggled the wire around until I finally saw it kind of like back there somewhere. And then from there, I just tried my best to pull it through, and then I pulled it all the way through to the back of the head unit. I just realized the actual wire length of this is much smaller than I thought. There's no way I'd be able to like fit it in the glove box and have it run all the way up like securely. So what I'm doing instead is I'm gonna have the box sit behind the head unit, and then I'm just gonna run the HDMI wire all the way down into the glove box, which will just make it cleaner anyway. On this side, you can see it needs a USB-C, but luckily this head unit came with an extra USB adapter that I can just plug back in and then have it sit back there and plug my USB-C into that. So what I'm gonna do is plug it in, and then I'm gonna have the USB and then run that wire to the HDMI adapter. I've been trying for the past 30 minutes to get this to actually work. I know I have it all plugged in, but it's just not working. Down here, these are clearly labeled USB 1 and 2, but this one just isn't even labeled anything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull one of these USB all the way back through and just keep one in here for the Steam Deck and then the other in there for the HDMI adapter. I'm just gonna tape the HDMI to one of the USBs and pull it through. So we have the HDMI and USB coming out the back, and then down here, I put the glove box back on, and we got the USB and HDMI again. All that's hypothetically left is for me to plug in the HDMI and USB power, and then down here, plug in my Steam Deck to that HDMI using my dock. I got the Steam Deck and the dock all plugged in down here. Here's the adapter, everything's taken apart still in case nothing works. But let's go ahead and try it out. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, this is without a doubt actually working. I'm gonna go ahead and reassemble everything so we can actually try playing one of the games. So here we are, I cleaned everything up in the glove box. I got this stuff all back on the panel, and boom, now we have a Steam Deck input on the actual head unit. All right, I apologize for any audio difference. I'm pretty sure I just broke my microphone by dropping it, but look at all of these different games I can play on my Honda Civic now. Let's go ahead and jump into Forza Horizon 4 and see how it runs. And with it being an NTSC signal or whatever, it's actually stuck at 30 frames per second, but for me, that's no big deal. That's just standard console frame. Here we are inside of Forza Horizon 4, driving around inside of my car while I'm in my car. That is absolutely insane. I will say, with it being 30 frames per second, the Bluetooth latency was awful, so I wired my controller to the Steam Deck. So just to show you better, just kind of an idea of the latency. It's rough, but it's completely playable. But if I was sitting here trying to play Call of Duty or something online, it'd be a miserable experience. But look at this. I am playing Forza Horizon 4 in my car once again. That's absolutely insane. At this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and hop through a couple games just to show you guys what it looks like. I'd love to show you guys this mysterious game that you see in the corner right here, but I'm pretty sure I get banned on YouTube. I don't know if you can hear it too. The audio is pretty distorted. There's some kind of annoying noise coming through. I think it's a feedback from the fan of the head unit going through the actual left channel. Like, just take a listen. Very nice. Here we are in Need for Speed Most Wanted. You can clearly see it's running great. At the corner, it says 60 frames per second, but once again, the video signal only allows for 30. But yeah, look at that. I'm in my red Honda Civic that I used to have in my 10th gen before I bought this 11th gen 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid. This game runs flawlessly on the Steam Deck, flawlessly on my head unit. The last game I'm showing you guys is Terraria, just because back in the day, this was my favorite Xbox 360 game. And the way that the signal is coming through the screen is very 360-like, with it being an RCA cable. It's almost like a CRT in a way. But yeah, this is Terraria running on my Honda Civic. This is pretty crazy, the fact that you can even play video games on a car like this. Obviously, you'd only do this whenever you're parked or if your passenger is engaged enough with the screen that they don't get motion sick. I would never do this while I'm driving, hypothetically. So now we know it's possible to game on your Honda Civic. Does it cost you a $500 head unit? Yeah. Does it cost you a Steam Deck? Yeah. Is it worth it? No. But is it necessary and possible? Well, it's not necessary, but it is possible. And that's how I showed you guys in this video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have a good one. Subscribe if you enjoyed. Check out some of the other 2025 Honda Civic content I have on my channel. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one.